Year 4. The Triwizard Shadows, Part 2, Task 3, The Labyrinth. The maze wasn't just tall hedges, it breathed. Thick, damp, ancient magic pulsed through every root, every leaf, humming like a heartbeat under the ground. Fog twisted above the paths, heavy enough to taste. Neville stepped inside, wand raised, heart pounding like bass. "All right, Nev. Lock in," he muttered. Immediately the hedges shifted, the ground trembled. A roar echoed somewhere far to the right. Fleur screamed to the left. Crumb fired curses blindly into the fog. Neville felt the maze watching him, waiting. Before we continue, hit the follow and share button for supporting us. Then, a whisper in his ear, faint but familiar. "Use your strengths, boy, not theirs." Moody's voice, but not from behind him, from inside his skull, like an echo of a memory someone planted there. Neville swallowed hard and crouched, pressing a palm to the dirt. The soil hummed, responded, like the plants remembered him. He whispered a growth charm, and the vines shivered, bending aside, creating a narrow, secret pathway deeper into the maze. Not too obvious, not too helpful. Just enough, like the maze itself was rooting for him. But it wasn't entirely friendly. A blast of red light sizzled past his shoulder. Crumb, eyes blank and jaw clenched, imperious, charging at him like a wrecking ball. Neville dove aside, rolled, fired a binding spell that wrapped Crumb's legs in tight, thorny ropes. "Sorry, bro!" he yelled, half panicked, half Gen Alpha. "Skill issue, but it's not your fault." Crumb toppled into the hedges, unconscious but breathing. Neville pushed forward, fast, determined. At the center of the maze, the cup glowed blue, almost celestial. Cedric arrived the same second, chest heaving. They stared, equally exhausted, equally terrified. Cedric held out a hand. "We take it together." Moody's voice hissed again inside Neville's mind. "Don't. The cup is meant for you." Then Luna's voice drifted into his memory. "Light shared becomes unbreakable." Neville grabbed Cedric's hand. "Together." They touched the cup, and reality ripped open like a scream. The graveyard showdown. They slammed into cold earth, tombstones, moonlight, the stench of death. Cedric rose halfway before a flash of green light struck him point blank. Neville's voice died in his throat. Cedric collapsed like a rag doll. Neville looked up into the face of the man he had haunted in nightmares since infancy. Voldemort. Reborn. Alive. Real. "Longbottom," Voldemort hissed, stepping forward with a serpent's grace. "So it was you. Not Potter. Not the false prophecy. You were the quiet mistake the world overlooked." Neville barely breathed. This wasn't like the books or the whispers or the stories. This was hunger, cruelty, intelligence, pure, sharpened malice. The Death Eaters circled, masks gleaming. Neville reached into his pocket, the second vial of silver leaf potion. He smashed it on the ground. The earth erupted. Roots, vines, branches, silver-veined and crackling with ancient magic, burst upward, slicing apart Voldemort's ritual circle, snapping bones, cracking tombstones. For one blazing moment, Voldemort staggered, repelled, shocked, furious. Neville grabbed Cedric's body, sprinted, dove for the cup. Voldemort's scream trail followed him like smoke. "You cannot escape your shadow, boy!" And the world tore away. The Patronus Storm Hogwarts exploded into view. Students screamed. Dementors flooded the pitch like a tidal wave of despair. The sky dimmed, cold biting into Neville's bones. Neville's knees buckled, but he shoved himself upright, wand trembling. He thought of Luna's hand in his, of Cedric's last breath, of his parents, of Trevor, of every root and leaf that ever fought beside him, of every shadow that refused to break him. He shouted, "Expecto Patronum!" Light erupted. Not a beam, not a creature. A storm. A serpent, massive and silver-edged. A raven, wings slicing the sky. A thestral-formed wraith of radiant deathlight. 3 Patronuses merged into one swirling, roaring cyclone of magic and shadow. The Dementors shrieked and disintegrated into black dust. The sky cracked with white-blue brilliance. The entire school stared in stunned, terrified silence. Neville collapsed to one knee, breath ragged. The world was still ringing with the echo of his magic when a voice slid into the silence behind him. Excellent. Moody stepped forward through the dispersing shadows, magical eye spinning wildly. You're everything I hoped for. Neville blinked in confusion and fear. The real Moody 2 auras rushed toward Neville, then froze mid-step, as if someone pressed pause on reality. Moody raised his wand, but not at Neville. At the auras, they dropped unconscious. Neville, Moody said quietly, "Come with me." Neville stepped back. "Professor, what's happening?" Moody's mismatched eyes flickered, and then one of them glitched, a mechanical stutter, a spark. Neville's stomach dropped. Moody stumbled, gripping his chest. Then his entire body convulsed like a puppet with its strings yanked. Layers of illusion peeled away like burning paper. Not slowly, not gently, fast, violent, wrong. The scars melted, the wooden leg dissolved. The magical eye popped free and rolled across the floor, still spinning. Beneath the collapsing disguise stood a pale, wild-eyed man with a twitching jaw and a fanatic's grin. Barty Crouch Jr. "Surprise!" he whispered, breathless. "As if you ever believed the great Alastair Moody would train a student like you." Neville staggered back. Every memory of Moody slammed into him at once. The advice, the pushes, the planted words, the guidance that nudged him toward darker, sharper instincts. You used me!" Crouch laughed, a high, manic, shivering sound. "Oh, Neville, I didn't just use you." His grin split wider. "I shaped you." He stepped closer, trembling with intensity. "I fed you to the Dark Lord. I carved your path. I whispered your instincts. The shadows, the rage, the power, all of it." Neville felt sick. His skin crawled. His magic recoiled. "You were always going to be his mirror," Crouch hissed, "and I made sure you saw it." With a sudden jarring bang, the door burst open. Dumbledore, McGonagall, and Snape stormed in. Crouch lunged at Neville, but Snape's spell hit him mid-air, freezing him like an insect caught in amber. Dumbledore put a hand on Neville's shoulder. "Neville, I am so sorry. You have endured more than any child should." Neville stared at the fallen imposter, and for the first time all year, he felt something colder than fear. The realization that the shadows weren't following him. They were part of him now. The final night, the castle was quiet. Too quiet. Cedric's death hung like fog. The students whispered Neville's name with awe, fear, confusion. Neville stood alone by the window of the hospital wing, Cedric's silent bed beside him. The sky outside was bruised with dawn. Dumbledore approached softly. "Voldemort has risen. The world will soon know. But you, Neville, you have already faced him and survived." Neville didn't answer. He stared at his hands, at the faint silver shimmer still clinging to his skin. Dumbledore's eyes softened. "The prophecy's shadow may not define you, but your choices will," Neville whispered. "Sir, am I becoming something dark?" "No," Dumbledore said, voice firm. "But you walk a thin line. You will need courage, more than most, and you will not walk alone." Neville finally turned from the window. "I'm not running," he said. His voice didn't shake, and somewhere deep beneath Hogwarts, Trevor croaked once, a quiet, knowing sound like a prophecy waking up. Hit the follow button for more adventure of Neville Alternate Universe